All right. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and great glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakha HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. And salutations to the elect pushing this truth to the four corners of the earth in truth and in sincerity. All right, in this particular video, I want to touch on this video that you see on your screen right here. China completely surrounds Taiwan. North Korea fires missiles. World War III fears erupt. Right. He's going to basically talk about how Trump is basically just losing in this war with Iran. You know, you underestimated the enemy, and now you got the enemy flexing on you, man. That weak is saying that he's strong. He's just not saying that he's strong. He's showing his military might. All right. Don't forget, these were the mighty men of Persia, man. Ancient Persia. Okay. But in this particular video, he's going to touch on, Trump's blunders. And I want to touch on China completely surrounding Taiwan. The ex-FBI director was blowing the trumpet on China taking Taiwan. Why is this even important? Because China has been gaining access to critical infrastructure systems in the United States for 5 years plus. And this is the electrical grid, water treatment facilities, banking, communication, transportation, so forth and so on, even to like the metal industry, so forth and so on. And the FBI has been warning that when they invade Taiwan, they're going to cyber attack America. All right, to render the military useless, so the military can't deploy and help Taiwan, because Taiwan is an ally of the United States. Right? So they want to cyber attack America, and right now seems to be prime time. Why? Because you have the United States spread thin. Okay, they're already over there in the Middle East. More than half of the Navy is deployed over there in the so-called Middle East, man. And now Trump is begging for munitions from Ukraine. Ukraine is going to grant them, and also begging the allies to help them take back the Straits of Hormuz, man. Hey, it's not going good for Trump. It's not going good. But this is the right time for Taiwan to invade. For China to invade Taiwan, and they said that they were going to cyber attack America, taking the whole electrical grid out, the whole communications, all transportations, everything out. They're going to take everything out. A grid down situation. And that grid down situation can bring forth Jacob's trouble very, very quick. All right? You're talking about death and destruction very, very quick. The introduction of the MOTB, everything can happen very, very fast. And talking about, I'm going to stop being on a rant. I just left the plantation. I'm going to play this. I'm going to pause it from time to time. And we're going to close it out. All right?
Because you watch this show, and I'm sure many other online shows that tell you the truth, the axis of Epstein is currently getting absolutely hammered by Iran. And what this war has revealed is just immense U.S. weakness, okay? Because what our military was geared towards was like fighting something like the Cold War, where it didn't actually become a hot war, and the goal was to be like, look, we have the biggest, baddest weapons and guns and missiles and bombs and nuclear arsenal. And it was almost like, it's like a virtue signal off. Hey, or vice signal off. Like, hey, we're the most powerful. See? Look at our giant warships and whatnot. And this is totally inadequate for modern warfare. Modern warfare has now become drone warfare, right? And it's become, can you be intelligent? Can you be clever? Can you be nimble? Can you adjust in real time? Can you be efficient? Our missile interceptors, for example, they cost $1 million a piece, and they make like one a month, okay? Iran is making the Shahid drones like faster than they can use them. They have like an unlimited supply of these Shahid.
And they cost about $20,000 to make, and to shoot them down, the interceptors, it costs about $1 million per shot. So, hey, do the math on that. So they're making them, like he said, faster than they can even use them. All right, and they trying to shoot them down. That's $1 million a piece, man. That's $5 million to shoot down 5 of them. Think about that. They're losing the math war too, man.
Hit drones, which are hitting the targets that they're trying to hit. And so China is sitting back and watching this and going, okay, so the Americans are bad in this way. They're bad in that way. They can't guard against this. They can't guard against that. Here's their weak points. And they're able to see all of this stuff. And meanwhile, our radar was taken out in the region. So many of our most expensive machinery has already been destroyed by the Iranians. It's just an utter catastrophe. I really don't know how else to put it. But classic imperial hubris and arrogance. We underestimated our opponent, and the opponent is fucking running circles around us. It really is that simple. Never mind the Strait of Hormuz. They have no fucking idea how to get that open, which is why Trump has lied multiple times. It is open! And, well, actually, it's not open, but you guys should fix it, not me. They're just lost. They're lost. Now, part of the problem with electing a sadistic, totally incompetent idiot is the cancer tends to spread over time. In other words, once people know you're led by a clown, everything sort of falls apart. The glue of the fabric of society throughout the world starts to fall apart. So, as I told you, the outline is already there for World War III. It's already there. You have China, you have Russia, you have Iran on one side, and then on the other side, it's the U.S. and Israel, the axis of Epstein, and then a bunch of other people who nominally on paper are with us, but they actually want nothing to do with us, like Europe, for example. Okay? And now take a look at what's happening. This is a huge deal. North Korea fires about 10 ballistic missiles towards sea in show of force, South Korea says. Why? Why did Kim Jong-un decide today, or now, to do this week, to do this? Well, the answer is very simple. Because the U.S. decided we're going to take out the THAAD missile defense system from South Korea and send it to the Middle East. Iran took out some of our other systems, and so we go, all right, we'll just grab the one from South Korea. And so now, they're sitting ducks. They're sitting ducks. So now, North Korea, if they were to attack South Korea, they don't have the highest level technological stuff in order to defend themselves. They just don't. They just don't. And so, that pissed off South.
Yeah, that pissed off South Korea, because you got to understand, South Korea agreed not to go nuclear for that excuse me, for protection from the United States, man. It needs that system, man, the missile defense system. But if it don't got that, then like he just said, they're sitting ducks. It basically, like, renders that promise, like, hey, you're supposed to protect us. It renders that promise useless, man. So that pisses them off, man. Same thing with Japan. Japan promised not to go nuclear as well, but they need to be protected in a time of war. And you have North Korea, a couple years ago, shot a missile over Japan too, and the United States ain't do shit about that. So,
North Korea, and they're like, holy shit, like, you're fucking stabbing us in the back here. That sucks. And immediately North Korea goes, oh, watch this. And they're threatening South Korea and shooting a bunch of ballistic missiles into the sea, letting them know, like, hey, if I don't move on you right now, it's only because of the kindness of my heart. Okay? That's what Kim Jong-un is telling them right now. Incredible. So Trump is just destroying the global order in a way that would make any president with an IQ over 90 go, holy fucking shit, you're an idiot. Okay? Politico says, Taiwan reports large-scale Chinese military aircraft presence near the island. So now, by the same token, China's like, well, if there was ever an opening for us to just waltz right in that bitch and take Taiwan, it would be now, wouldn't it? The U.S. is completely and utterly bogged down in the Middle East. First of all, we're illegally overthrowing the government of Venezuela and stealing their oil. We're threatening Mexico at the same time. Trump's threatening Panama. He's threatening Greenland. He's bombing Iran. Now it's, at the very least, a total regional war where you have the Yemen's Houthis jumping in, Hezbollah and Lebanon jumping in, Israel fighting on multiple fronts, trying to steal more territory.
But that was the point right there, him talking about China taking over Taiwan. Once again, the significance of that is FBI warned of a massive cyber attack. Don't forget Klaus Schwab talking about a cyber attack too. That's going to make Crown Vic Royale, that C-19, look like a walk in the park, man. A cyber attack. Talking about a grid down situation. If you don't know what a grid down situation is, all communications, all transportation, all your electrical grid down, all medicine, everything that you know, the way of life as you know it, totally uprooted and dismantled. All right, that's a grid down situation, and no, it will not come back online in 3 days or whatever like that. You're talking about a good, month plus, possibly like 2 months plus, and then it's going to be like, they'll get the power back on in like little sections, like here and there, and this will be the perfect time for them to implement the MOTB, if that happened. But anyway, hope you could take something from this. This was just a quick, in transit, touching on, just some geopolitical, news. I believe this is breaking news. This counts as breaking news. They're completely surrounding Taiwan right now. So any day now, don't be surprised if you wake up and your lights ain't on and shit, and you can't use the phone. Because that's what they mean by communication. You won't be able to call nobody. All that shit's gone. It's off. Anyway, with that, hope you can take something from this. I'm going to say shalom.